Sadly, the American obesity epidemic is spreading around the globe. Why? Because the so-called Western diet is replacing traditional meals in many emerging nations. The average American eats 33 pounds of cheese and 70 pounds of sugar annually. They also take in twice the recommended daily allowance of salt. Indeed, everything is bigger in America. As Full Frame contributor Sandra Hughes found out, making healthy food choices requires consumers to decode what is really in their favorite foods.
NIKI TEHRANCHI started EATZ LA cooking courses to share her love for freshly made food with people who are not always comfortable in the kitchen.
How do you make a scrambled egg? A lot of people are like, I don't even know how to fry an egg. Oh my God, I don't know how to do anything but open a bar or open a box of cereal. Take your knife. See how I'm protecting my thumb? Take your knife. When you get to the end, just lift off your hand and then do the mincing technique. Right.
She starts with the basics, but has a greater goal in mind. NIKI wants her students to stop eating so much processed food.
If I'm helping people to learn how to cook, hopefully that will translate to them buying fresh ingredients and putting something together at home. I hope I'm helping them not to microwave and go to that easy fix.
70% of the American diet is made up of processed foods, often packed with sugar, fat, sodium, or all three. These students who paid $100 each to learn to cook fresh food confess they're hooked on processed treats.
Peanut butter, chocolate, ice cream, cheese.
Cereal, ice cream.
Bunch of junk food.
Chips.
Yeah.
Probably 80% processed food, 20% fresh food. We don't cook a lot.
But the chemical compounds that fill the ingredient list on many of those processed favorites keep Cindy Lee away.
If we don't really understand what the name of the ingredient is, for me personally, I wouldn't necessarily be inclined to purchase it.
Instead, she tries to shop for items with simple ingredients.
I know I'm there looking at, comparing labels to see, well, how many grams or exactly what kind of whole grains are in there. So, I really try to look at the labels to see what I'm getting.
But NIKI worries that too many people don't pay attention to what is really in their food.
I don't think people look at labels. I think they look at the front of the package and it says, fat-free, or it says sugar-free or organic or reduced fat, and then they don't even bother.
Nutritionists say the American processed food habit is a major cause of the nation's obesity epidemic. The problem is literally at the center of any given grocery store, those middle aisles packed with processed items designed for taste and convenience. Experts say one way to steer toward a healthy diet is to shop the perimeter of the grocery store, starting in the produce department, where you buy a rainbow of colorful fruits and vegetables. Hitting fresh meats, ending in the dairy aisle, leaving very little room in your cart for processed and packaged foods. But in those center aisles, more and more processed food makers are marketing their products with prominent labels that boast healthy benefits. Those claims leave many shoppers more confused than informed.
We're going to start with what's new and good, then we're going to go into some challenges, and then we're going to...
Holistic health consultant BETH WOODARD works one-on-one with clients who want to make healthy eating a priority and hire her to help them cut through the confusion.
Have you ever tried to read food labels?
I have.
What's that been like for you?
Like reading a foreign language. There's so many...
A foreign language that Beth can translate.
Tripotassium phosphate, do you even know what that is?
Couldn't pronounce it, no.
Right, so general rule of thumb that I stick to is if you can't understand it, your body can't understand it. So
Beth advises her clients to stock their shelves with greens and lean proteins, drink a lemon water in the morning to give their system a shower, and stay away from genetically modified food. She doesn't shop in the processed food aisle, but we took her there. I know as a mom, cereal is a staple in pretty much every pantry. But can it be deceiving overall, cereal?
Yes, it is. It's very brightly deceiving. You would think because of all of these vitamins it says that you're getting, look at vitamin A, vitamin C, I mean you don't even need a multivitamin it has in your Cheerios. However, you can see it's all synthetic vitamins, meaning it's in what you call enriched flour.
So they add that later, it's not part of the cereal?
Exactly.
And what about the frozen low-fat dinners that advertise a healthy meal for under 400 calories? So this is another diet product. They're saying 26 grams of protein, no sugar added, 330 calories, 5 carbs. Okay, I'm saying I'm putting this in my cart. This sounds good.
Right, so let's turn this around and look at the sodium. That's 1,070 milligrams of sodium in just your dinner.
How many teaspoons do you think that would be, like, of salt?
I mean, I'm sure we can put that in jars. Like, I'm sure we can put that in.
It's just eating salt, basically.
It's just eating salt. Like, you might as well just eat salt with a little bit of your chicken.
Professor Michael Roberts studies international food labeling practices at UCLA Law School.
I always joke a bit by saying that a consumer needs to take to the grocery store with them a food scientist, a nutritionist, and a lawyer just to get through the label.
Professor Roberts travels the world talking about food and the implications of eating processed and fast food.
So the Western diet, for better or for worse, is being exported into other countries, generally in the form of fast food restaurants, oftentimes in mom and pop corner shops that now carry Western style soda, potato chips, a lot of sugar products. And these food products are becoming, unfortunately, staples or increasingly important parts of people's diets.
And then what you're going to do with the bread is just cut it into 1-inch cubes.
But NIKI is still working at reversing that trend by offering one simple solution to solve the processed food puzzle.
So I think a processed food is a processed food is a processed food. At the end of the day, it's still processed, which means it's not as good for you as going and getting a real onion, real tomato, and brown rice and real chicken and cooking it yourself.
It may seem like more work, but filling your diet with simple, healthy foods will make it worth cleaning your plate. For Full Frame, this is Sandra Hughes in Los Angeles.